This could potentially be the best mechanical keyboard for $100. This is the AL66 from Yunzii, and it's a customizable, compact, hot swappable mechanical gaming keyboard. And spoiler alert, I like it that much, I might just be daily driving it from now on. Full disclosure, Yunzii did send this out for me to review today, but they don't get to preview the video before it goes up, and they have no creative control. So all of the thoughts in today's video are my own, just a disclosure for you lot. But back to the AL66, and it's a 65% mechanical gaming keyboard, so it's got no F-row on it, but it retains the arrow keys and the numbers as well, so it's still got all the functionality you probably need. And as for mechanical gaming keyboards, it's basically got all the features you would ever want. It's got a hot swappable PCB which will take 3-pin switches. It's got south-facing RGB LEDs and lighting in the side as well. And it's gasket mounted, so it gets rid of that horrible pingy sound while you're typing, which is something I like to see. It's got a volume control dial which can be tapped to mute the sound, and most importantly it has both wired with Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz. I highly recommend the 2.4 GHz where possible, especially for gamers, and of course you can plug it in via a USB-C cable to both charge it and to use it wired. So it's all well and good if a keyboard is premium and it's got all the features, but what is the typing experience like? After all, you buy a keyboard to type and game on it. And good news, typing on this keyboard is probably the best typing experience I've ever had on a keyboard. Like, look at this. And thanks to those pre-lubed linear milky switches, the sound is absolutely incredible. Like, listen to this. Even though I don't really game competitively anymore because I kind of retired from all of that, this keyboard is still great for gaming. I mainly play Battlefield and I've got absolutely zero complaints with this keyboard. And because the switches are linear as well, that is the perfect type of switch you want for gaming. But fear not though, if you're not a big fan of the switches which come with this keyboard, you can always change them with another 3-pin Cherry MX layout. So that is always great to see, is that customizability and the hot swappableness of this keyboard. As I alluded in the start of the video, the build quality of the AL66 is absolutely brilliant. That CNC'd aluminium case is beautiful. Like, this keyboard is actually kind of like a tank, and just listen to that, that's just beautiful, isn't it? It's a lot better than plastic, and that is something I really appreciate. And because it's built out of aluminium, there's absolutely zero deck flex, unless if you're the world's strongest person, you can somehow bend an aluminium block like this. You're not going to be having any deck flex at all. And the gasket mount for the switches is absolutely brilliant. I like to see this in a keyboard because it reduces that horrible pingy sound which I've seen on a few keyboards before, which is it's not great at all. So that is a good thing to see on this as well. But I do have one issue with this keyboard, and to be honest, it's not with the keyboard, it's with the keycaps. The printing is pretty hit and miss, and the quality on it, especially with some of the smaller lettering, is kind of poor, but I'll cover more of this in a sec. Other than that though, gaming and typing on this keyboard is brilliant. And this keyboard looks as good as it feels, with controllable RGB all over the place, and it also has south-facing LEDs which are more compatible with different types of key switches, so that's a good thing as well. Also, there's RGB lighting on each side which can be controlled too, which is always good to see. You can control the RGB lighting on the keyboard with hardware. You can even change the effects, the backlight speed, and even the brightness of it as well. And if you didn't want RGB, you can turn it off altogether. But if that isn't enough customization for you, you can also install the software where it allows you to have much more control over the lighting. Here I just left it on a static orange so it matches the rest of my setup, and I don't like flashing RGB all over the place. But that's not all you can do in the software, as you can change the sleep idle time. So instead of going to sleep after 2 minutes, it goes to sleep after 5. And you can also change settings like the debounce time as well. And the best thing about this is it's saved to the keyboard's memory, so you can even use it without the software after you make your changes, or if you move to another PC, those changes will be saved as well. So I love this keyboard, but there are a few things I'd like to see changed. The first one is the printing on the keycaps. It isn't brilliant at all, and it is definitely by far the weakest part of this keyboard. Admittedly, this could just be a problem with my model specifically, or if you want to just, I don't know, get the bare bones kit, that won't be an issue because that comes without the switches and without the keycaps as well. And even if you did buy this, you could just get another keycap set from a third-party seller. Admittedly, you shouldn't have to if you're spending $100 on a keyboard. But then again, it's not really that much of a deal breaker for me, so I'm not really that bothered by it. But if it were to bother you, I'll totally understand. And my other minor point is there is no tilt adjustment on this keyboard. I'm not sure if it's because it's made out of CNC'd aluminium and it would have been way too costly to implement that, which is totally understandable. But luckily, out of the box, it's at the right height and angle for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case for you, so that is something to look out for. So despite the admittedly, in my opinion, minor issues with this keyboard, I am certainly going to recommend it because I do really like it, and I'm going to be putting my money where my mouth is because I'm going to be daily driving this from now on. If you're a typist or a gamer and you're looking for a keyboard around the $100 mark, this is the keyboard to get, in my opinion. Also, make sure you check it out, linked below with my Amazon affiliate links, which now have the US ones. So if you're in the US, I've got an Amazon affiliate link for that, so you can pick this thing up. But other than that, I'll probably change around the keycaps at some point because, yeah, it is kind of a shame, and maybe just to swap them out, I suppose. So yeah, other than that, apart from the keycaps, this keyboard is absolutely awesome, and yeah, I think Yunzii's done a very good job with this one. So if you want to see how another keyboard gets on, there is a video up there for that. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day.